and an entry this week was something that I didn't have planned. And I guess I got good news and bad news. So we'll start with the good news. The good news is that I'm doing this, and I am doing this simply because I figured, I mean, that's what I said I'd do, which is big, but then also because I think it's a good time to get it, to really check in with you guys, to slow things down, and go over these things in this fashion, as opposed to, talking over footage and showing you guys some slides of what programming is looking like. So yeah, just a little human intermission, right? So that's the good news, is that I'm here and that I'm doing this, and I think eventually I'll be able to look back and get plenty from this moment, both in terms of memories and then also in regards to like what was going through my head. And again, a contest prep is, I do it to because I want to win, right? But that's where we compete, but also because there's so many challenges along with what is obvious, that you always go back and you try to remaster, and a lot of these challenges like take place in here. So I'll be able to go back to this and like think about that moment in time and how I handled it, and am I truly satisfied with the way I handled that. So there's that part. I guess that's the good news. The bad news is that I think that I might have had my camera stolen. And I'm saying I think because I hate to think that. I'm hoping that I really misplaced the damn thing, and that eventually it'll stumble back into my hands. But there's a good chance that might have happened. That it might have happened at one of my gyms. I'm not necessarily too put off by it. If anything, I think just like the moody part in me was just like, oh, thank God it got stolen, because I don't want to really go over any footage today or report, to be quite honest. But again, like this is something that I feel I must do for a number of reasons, like outside of like just sharing my own stuff with you guys and having people interested in me. To a large extent, I want to contribute to the sport. Like I want to contribute to the sport that I love, natural bodybuilding. I want it to reach others that reach others that perhaps, had it not been for, who knows, maybe this journal, they might not be aware of such a sport. And again, I need the sport to be around after I'm gone, even though I won't be here. I would like that to happen, and I think doing things like this definitely help contribute to that. So long story short, that is what is happening. Training is going well. I feel like super strong, especially after coming off that 1 month layoff. I'm sitting about 10 to 12 pounds above stage weight, and I think one way that you can tell that I really have this under control compared to previous years is that I'm about 10 pounds over, and like my face still looks relatively human. And I think your face shows a lot in regards to like where you are. And I think every year I tend to look a little bit healthier all around, and that's because I'm only ripping myself apart as hard as I need to, which again is great, because who wants to dig a hole that you don't need to, right? And then the other thing is, on the way out, it makes the recovery process a lot less, it shortens it up quite a bit. And then the other one is it just makes you look forward to your next contest prep, right? You're not as like shell shocked after it. So yeah, everything's going well. Again, sticking to the schedule that I went over during the last video. I guess if anything, the one thing that I did want to address is that's kind of like my issues, that I'm so used to like working in the dark, doing the work that needs to be done in order to be better, that sometimes like taking a moment to take you guys along with me, I swear it's a distraction. And that's because I've been doing this for myself for like so freaking long. I mean, that's all I knew between ages 19 and 25, and here I am 34 now. I go to the gym, and often going to the gym didn't mean praise from my homies. If anything, I mean now it does, right? If I hit a cool little PR, I post that on Instagram, everyone gives me a thumbs up, Berto, you killing it. But back then it was the exact opposite. When I went to the gym, it was something that was just out of the norm, especially with within my social groups back then. You know, they were like, dude, like it's Friday night, what are you doing? Don't you want to go have drinks with us? And it's like, no, I need to take care of my training first. So yeah, I'm so used to doing it that way that sometimes this can be a hassle, but at the end of the day, I think it's something that I should do, and something that I will regret not doing. So I guess, yeah, I guess a lot of the things that I do on a daily basis at this point, they're so a part of me that I feel like there is not as much discipline and grind as some people give me credit for. And I think one of the big ones that, like, often, especially, I have close ties to a lot of powerlifters in the USAPL, and one thing they will always give me props on is like, dude, like, how do you like do it, like, to stay so disciplined and restrict food? And to me, it's just like, you know, it's just second nature at this point. So my low days are 2,500 calories right now, and I have those 3 days a week, and they're definitely harder than my my higher carb days. And they're harder, but I do my job, and I really don't have. I'm like, yeah, I guess I do. At the end of the day, I do feel restricted. I do feel like I want more food, and it sucks that I'm out of food. But how do I deal with it? I think on the surface, there's a few strategies that I do use. I make sure that I'm remotely hydrated before I have. So again, we'll just turn this into like a tips to how to cope with your diet, and then I'll take you guys through a full low day of eating. So how do you get the 2,500 calorie challenge like accomplished? How do you do that? Because that is below my maintenance. My maintenance being somewhere around, I'd say, 33,000 to 3,400, depending on the day. At this point, I feel a safe estimate. So how do I cope with that? I would say that, to me, obviously, just like, again, on the surface, it's going to be little things like drinking water before I eat. That helps immensely. I still sometimes confuse hunger signals with thirst signals. I take my time when I eat my food. So that's probably number 2. I chew my food. It annoys the crap out of my girlfriend. Leanna absolutely is like, dude, I'm done with my food and you're still going. And I'm like, exactly. Like, and now you're just here watching me eat, right? So yeah, it does take a while for your body to establish that it's at least nourished and satisfied. You're never really full. But yeah, chewing your food's a big one. Fletcherism is the name of the diet. Google that one, Fletcherism. So I practice Fletcherism. I drink water before I eat. And then here is a good one that I absolutely just like seals the deal for me, is that I've ingrained, this is huge for me. What I do after I eat is I go brush my teeth. Except right now, I might have broccoli in my teeth because I just finished eating and I decided to do this. I had my breakfast. I brush my teeth, and in a way, it would be gross had I, put in some more food, right? I brush my teeth, but then also it's just like a ritual that means like this is like the closing ceremonies for this eating. So those are 3 things that I do, and I'd say outside of that, a big part of why I am able to stay so disciplined, especially later in the prep, where like everything that is a part of you is telling you need to keep eating. You need to keep eating or we're going to die. So like the life forces are basically talking to you at that point. And honestly, there's no other way of putting it other than I think it takes some experience with, I guess, just reward investment in other areas of your life. I think that's a big one. Once you've done it in other places, you can kind of connect that to a diet. But then even more importantly is experience within like the diet itself and how you cope with the feelings of caloric restriction and making the right decisions in the face of these urges. That is something that I think just takes skill, and it takes a lot of successful diets in order to put together, and it's going to take a lot of unsuccessful moments as well. So like I've cheated on diets, and I can always go back to that and how that feels, and because of that it keeps me from doing it more often than not. But I will say this, is that in order to survive to survive a full-on contest prep, I do feel that you need to have some dieting experience. Now, mind you, my first contest prep came in 2007, but prior to that, I had been, bodybuilding since 1999, and I would go through some, very conservative, small caloric deficits from time to time, but they kind of build me up to that big one, and then eventually, I took what I gathered from those diets, mostly coping skills, both like in regards to how you skillfully like put your day together so that you can best adhere, including certain foods, not including other foods, when you eat, things like that, how you eat, chew your food, right? And then just combining that with diet experience, fat loss experience, and eventually your ability to cope with the caloric restriction gets better, even in the face of like really low body fat levels. But again, this is something that just it's a skill that's hard to really, I feel, fully explain to someone who hasn't successfully attained it. But it's something that again is just going to come with time. So to me, I'd say that, like, man, 80% of contest prep feels like not anything that requires an extraordinary amount of discipline. I have moments, but it's not until we get to those deep stages that I'm like, ooh, now I'm digging deep. But it took a while to get there. It used to be that from the start it would feel kind of uncomfortable, and I kind of wanted to call uncle, but it's gotten better over time. So yeah, I'd say that if you are deciding, if you're thinking about competing at some point, I definitely recommend that that you perhaps have at least 3 years of gaining and cutting experience, successful gaining and cutting experience, where you have achieved some of your more basic goals in regards to your body composition. You have been in decent shape at some point prior to wanting to be in really crazy shape for that stage. So again, I think a lot of the things that I do at this point are second nature, and I think I would be kind of a bad person to observe as they go through this. But yeah, I think as of now, it's pretty easy, it's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward. I'm hungry at the end of the night, or I wish I could have more food, but we put on our big boy pants and just carry on with it. So yeah, I'm gonna take you guys through a day's worth of flow eating, how we get that done, and yeah, I think more than anything, just a little visit right now in regards to how I'm doing with the coping part of the diet. I am about 10 pounds out, which is like decently lean, and what I think I'm going to do is every once in a while just revisit this, tell you guys how I'm doing in this manner where you can see my face. This is Bert lying, right? He's putting a voiceover because he doesn't want us to see the suffering that you can see in his eyes. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. Pretty straightforward. But again, it's conserving energy, something that you learn to do the longer you've been partaking in any sport, until it's like go time. And then when it's go time, you have a lot of go left in you. All right, I'll leave it there, and that's it. And we are actually legally doing the intermittent fasting today, but that's not usually how it goes. Today just happened to roll this way. Usually when it comes to my eating schedule, not a huge breakfast person. Like, that's not the first thing I do, but I don't go out of my way to extend my I guess my fasting time. Yeah. So, and then also I ate really early yesterday. So it's been 15 and a half hours. We're about to cross that threshold where you do the intermittent fasting and something incredible is supposed to happen. I'll report to you guys in 30 minutes and I'll let you know how that's going. All right, guys? That's how you say it. That's how you say it. No, take that back. All right, Teamsters. All right, 3D Muscle Journey Maniacs. This is meal number 1, and it looks extra food porny right here. Wow, this ain't that VHS porn. This is like that New Age era. Holy crap. Look at that birthmark pone, right? So we have sardines. Yeah, kind of nasty. Or at least on paper it sounds that way. Sardines, 3 egg whites, 2 eggs, and then 3 servings of broccoli. There we go, getting focused. 3 servings of broccoli. And this is just the start of this meal. I'll probably throw some carbs in here, otherwise I'll fall behind on those. But that's how we start the day. I am technically intermittent fasting. I feel like a new man, Leanna. The apple of all apples, the Honey Crisp, $3.49 a pound, and it can tell you that with a straight face. And then a banana. I should probably go weigh my apple. I'm gonna guess what this apple is. I'm gonna say it's 240 grams. Let's see. Yeah, my scale's dirty, but I'm not gonna try to impress you guys. We're all human here. What's your scale look like before you judge? All right, 2.72. So I went under, which is probably the better thing to do. Come over here, baby. You. Gonna be the pre-workout. Boom. All the Rice Krispies line, all actually rice-based cereals are some of my favorite pre-workout foods, simply because they go down easy. Which, yes, like means you're hungry, but I really don't care at this point. I just want to be light on my feet and a super freak. And because of that, we're having 4 servings of that, and then like 350 grams of 0% Chobani that I had left over. But that is going to be meal number 2. We're going to go hit some legs, and then I'll come back and I'll probably have like 1.5 meals left, I think. Yeah, but that's where I'm at. I'll tally this up, put it in the description, and that's how the magic, which isn't so magical, happens. Anyhow.
Come on.
Hey, I kind of goofed up, fell behind on my protein, which happens sometimes. Gonna have me this. It's gonna put me at roughly about 190, just under 200 grams of protein for the day. It's gonna put me at about 200 grams of protein for the day. We'll have some cereal to go along with this, I think, and that is that. We'll show you what the final recipe, if you will, looks like. Someone's gonna ask me, what is the recipe? And there's gonna be ingredients, and the ingredients will be like cottage cheese and cereal. And because I said that's probably gonna be trolled in the comment section. All right, that's this one. I'll show you guys what it looks like at the end. Nearly as awful as I thought it would. This is what we're gonna go with: 3 servings of that full container of this, and my friends, I have an announcement. The 2,500 calorie challenge, and I guess that is a big that's a good way to end this. Is that yeah, I guess basically the deeper you get into dieting, or the better you become at dieting, I think you kind of learn to distinguish self-loathing versus like you're actually suffering. And this was one of those days where I planned to eat 2,500 calories, but I think partially perhaps because it was a long day, but also because I was just coming off that month where I wasn't dieting. It made it easy to just the easier thing was honestly to push away the plate, and this might seem kind of like it's blasphemy to a dieter, but I honestly wasn't hungry. And I think more often than not, when we do want something, especially during certain stages of the prep, we actually, I guess you could say, we don't nearly want it as much as we think. Like, we're not actually hungry, we're just, I guess, cravey. You know, the difference between appetite and hunger, right? But in this case, I just legitimately was not hungry, and I think what you will see from time to time is that I will kind of sort of auto-regulate my intake up until a certain point, until we get really lean. That part that I told you, where everything is telling you to eat all the time. But at this point, you know, if I can get ahead, slightly more ahead on a given day, I'll kind of take it that way. And you never know, around the corner there might be a situation where there might be some social eating, and I won't be able to monitor my intake as closely as I'd like, and I might be over without trying. So I guess I'll leave those calories out for the universe to do whatever they want with them. But yeah, we failed, I guess, but I'm okay with it. Yeah, that's just basically how a low day goes. And how the theme for a lot of this prep will be is that I think, even though there is a base structure set in place, I will auto-regulate quite a bit from time to time. But that took practice, that took a lot of years, and I don't recommend a lot of years of doing this to get to that point. But I don't recommend people generally do this, at least not initially, and I don't recommend that I do that up until a certain point. So 2,500 calorie challenge failed, but I'm okay with it, and we'll just move on from here. But yeah, that's where the prep is at. Long video, poor video quality. We'll get that sorted out, okay?